The Simpsons isn't just the longest-running animated show in the US. It almost seems like a crystal ball that predicts real-world events. From Apple products to presidents and disasters, many of its forecasts have turned out to be true. Fortunately, some of the more outrageous predictions have not happened, and hopefully they never will. Join us as we explore 20 frightening predictions from The Simpsons that we hope never come true. Number 20. Ivanka's predicted 2028 presidency. The most famous Simpsons prediction that came true is the Donald Trump presidency, referenced years before it happened in a 2000 episode. However, the show also predicted that Trump's daughter Ivanka would follow in his political footsteps, as hinted in another eerie scene in a 2016 Halloween episode. Homer is seen wearing a badge that reads, Ivanka 2028. It's easy to dismiss as a throwaway gag, but considering The Simpsons' track record, what would happen if Ivanka really ran for the presidency in 2028? Surprisingly, her age in 2028 would be 47 years old, the same age as her father Donald Trump when he became president in 2016. On one hand, Ivanka lacks any political experience as of 2023, but her father's populist rise shows that may not be a barrier. She has name recognition and support among his voter base. Perhaps in a volatile post-Trump landscape, Ivanka could campaign on a message of carrying forward her father's legacy. Number 19. The Simpsons resurrect USSR. In The Simpsons, Homer often triggers world-changing events completely by mistake, and in the episode Simpson Tide, his habitual bumbling precipitates the return of one of America's greatest historical foes, the Soviet Union. After getting fired from his job, Homer impulsively enlists in the Navy, but he quickly washes out of basic training and is assigned to submarine duty. While goofing around during an exercise, Homer accidentally directs the sub into Russian waters, triggering an international incident. At an emergency UN summit, the Russian ambassador declares, "The Soviet Union is prepared to offer amnesty to your wayward vessel," shockingly revealing that the USSR has apparently been resurrected without the world even noticing. Soon, Soviet troops and tanks are marching through Red Square again. Homer's actions have unwittingly undone the conclusion of the Cold War. It's a chilling example of the butterfly effect in action, where seemingly inconsequential events can have staggeringly large historical impacts. While the rebirth of the Soviet Union may seem far-fetched today, experts warn it's not completely outside the realm of possibility. Putin's Russia has grown increasingly authoritarian and aggressive against its neighbors. If these trends continue, we could see a return to traditional Soviet policies aimed at expanding Russia's sphere of influence. Number 18. The Simpsons zombie apocalypse. Few horrors are more deeply embedded in our post-apocalyptic nightmares than the zombie, the reanimated dead, hungering insatiably for the flesh of the living. And in their annual Treehouse of Horror, The Simpsons chillingly predicts these undead ghouls could menace mankind someday soon. In the segment aptly titled, Don't Have a Cow, Mankind, Springfield faces a contagion catastrophe when kids eating contaminated crusty burgers transform into brain-craving zombies. Soon, the entire town is overrun by lurching cadavers trying to consume any human in sight. Only a desperate evacuation effort and Homer's trusty shotgun save the surviving Springfielders from joining the rampaging hordes. Far-fetched though it may seem, the scenario touches on real-world fears of viral epidemics, bioterrorism, and animal-borne diseases triggering behavioral pandemics. While genuine zombie viruses remain fictional for now, science continues to uncover parasites that hijack host minds in spine-tingling ways. Let's hope research that seems to echo science fiction steers clear of creating actual screen nightmares because, while zombie outbreaks are fantasy, the risks posed by unchecked experiments are disconcertingly real. In our rush towards progress, wisdom and caution are survival skills we cannot afford to neglect. Number 17. The Simpsons black hole. Of all the cosmological terrors imaginable, few rival the black hole. These gravitational abysses bend spacetime itself, consuming all matter that strays too close. In the Treehouse of Horror episode Unnormal Activity, a mini black hole appears over Springfield, threatening to swallow the entire town before Lisa contains it. The premise highlights real physics and the dangers of particle experiments like the Large Hadron Collider. Some theorists initially feared the LHC could produce micro-black holes by colliding particles, though CERN called the risks remote. It shows that uncanny Simpsons predictions sometimes extrapolate from real science. Black holes are a result of the collapse of massive stars, creating a region where gravity is so intense that not even light can escape its grasp. The boundary surrounding the black hole, known as the event horizon, marks the point of no return for anything that falls within its reach. This extraordinary phenomenon continues to captivate astrophysicists, challenging our understanding of the fundamental laws of physics and the limits of the universe's capabilities. If a black hole did materialize on Earth, the effects could be apocalyptic. Victims would be spaghettified as the intense gravity shredded them apart. Entire cities could disappear into the cosmic maw. Earth itself might be slowly devoured or knocked out of its orbit. Let's hope such gravitational nightmares remain in the realm of physics speculation and satirical cartoons, because nothing, not even Twinkies, can escape a black hole's crushing grasp once swallowed past its event horizon. Number 16. George Clooney's quicksand demise. Could America's favorite silver fox actor tragically meet his demise slipping into quicksand? That's the morbid vision suggested in the Simpsons episode Treehouse of Horror 17. During the opening, Homer offhandedly kills celebrities to use their images freely. George Clooney is shown helplessly sinking into quicksand on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's an absurd yet unsettling concept, made creepier by the preceding deaths of Prince and Neil Armstrong shortly after being mentioned. Hopefully, Clooney's long and acclaimed career won't prematurely end in such a nightmarish manner. Quicksand is more a cartoon cliché than a real-world hazard these days, but The Simpsons has incorporated outlandish jokes into prognostications before, so we can't entirely rule out their satirical soothsaying. Perhaps the show simply picked a random comedic tragedy, or maybe it foresees an unlikely accident befalling the Oscar-winning actor. The only certainty is that no fan wants to see the debonair Clooney's signature charm and talent tragically cut short, so we'd best not hold our breath for this prediction. With any luck, George Clooney will enjoy many more decades of stardom, but a small part of us remains uneasy thanks to The Simpsons' morbid premonitions. Number 15. Extraterrestrial Oval Office invasion. Imagine waking up to discover the President of the United States has been secretly replaced by an alien imposter. As outlandish as it sounds, The Simpsons suggests this could be in our future. In the Halloween episode Citizen Kong, extraterrestrials Kong and Kodos abduct and impersonate candidates Bill Clinton and Bob Dole. The show predicts these aliens could rig an election and seize power, intending to enslave humanity from the Oval Office outward. Luckily, Homer Simpson exposes the ruse just in time to prevent disaster. But could extraterrestrial beings really infiltrate our highest office? The prospect is as thrilling as it is terrifying, and The Simpsons is not alone in proposing the idea. The 1993 film Dave featured a U.S. president replaced by an identical double. Some conspiracy theorists even believe real-life top officials could be aliens in disguise. And who's to say they'd have benevolent intentions? An alien president could be the prelude to a full-scale invasion. While little green presidents remain hypothetical for now, the implications if intelligent life beyond Earth made contact could be world-changing. Would alien visitors come in peace and friendship or conquest and exploitation? If they inhabit human bodies like in The Simpsons, how could we detect imposters in the halls of power? Until that close encounter occurs, we must take comfort that our leaders are Homo sapiens, as far as we know. Number 14. Nuclear annihilation by France. Few catastrophic events could be more nightmarish than the total annihilation of an American town by nuclear inferno. Yet, this unthinkable vision is precisely what befalls Springfield, thanks to an unlikely source, the French military. After Springfield makes one frog leg joke too many, the French retaliate by launching a neutron bomb directly at the city. The devastation is immense. Every Springfield resident is wiped out in an instant, except for ever-invincible Homer Simpson. Homer survives the blast but awakes to find himself wandering alone in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, the sole remaining citizen of a leveled Springfield. It's a disturbing fictional scenario that highlights the immense devastation and lasting consequences posed by nuclear arms. While a foreign power bombing an American town may seem far-fetched, accidents and close calls with nuclear weapons have happened, and tensions between nations today are alarmingly high. Let's hope cooler heads prevail, because nobody wants to see their hometown go the way of Springfield after that fateful frog leg insult. Number 13. Humans colonize the Red Planet. Events would mark a greater leap forward for humanity than establishing a permanent settlement on Mars. Building second homes on other planets has long been the stuff of science fiction, yet The Simpsons suggests this futuristic vision could become reality sooner than we think. Mars, despite its rugged and inhospitable terrain, boasts some intriguing similarities to Earth, including a comparable day length, with days on Mars lasting only a little over half an hour more than those on Earth. Furthermore, the presence of water ice on the planet's surface indicates the possibility of sustaining life, fueling the imaginations of those contemplating the future of interplanetary colonization. Notably, figures like Elon Musk, the pioneering entrepreneur behind SpaceX, have been actively championing the cause of making Mars a habitable destination, inspiring a new wave of enthusiasm and curiosity about the Red Planet's potential. The episode The Martian Chronicles depicts the family joining a future mission to colonize Mars after winning a contest in 2051, but the journey turns out to be a scam as the organizers fail to even launch a spacecraft. Still, the closing scene provides a hopeful glimpse into life on the red planet decades later, with Mars now home to Earth evacuees. Colonizing Mars has clear advantages, spreading out humanity to guard against planetary catastrophes, gaining access to mineral resources, and fulfilling our pioneer spirit. Yet major hurdles remain, including the planet's lack of breathable air, extreme cold, intense radiation, and logistical challenges of supporting life so far from Earth. Nevertheless, Elon Musk believes settlement on Mars could happen within our lifetimes. Only time will tell if the Simpsons prediction comes to fruition, but with humanity's boundless ingenuity, a future on the red planet may be closer than we think. Number 12. World War III Nightmare. The Simpsons Season 6 episode Lisa's Wedding contained numerous predictions about the future, many of which, fortunately, have yet to materialize. However, within this array of predictions lies one particularly dangerous one, the haunting idea of World War III. During a particular scene when Lisa's British fiancé Hugh casually mentions that the US saved Britain during World War II, Mo interjects with a sardonic remark, emphasizing that it was Britain that came to the rescue of the United States during World War I. While the notion of another global conflict on the scale of World War I or II appeared implausible a few years ago, the relations between Russia and Western powers have become increasingly strained in recent years. The ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia has exacerbated the situation. Let us hope with every fiber of our being that the Simpsons' grim forecast is spectacularly incorrect. The world cannot afford the untold death and devastation. Number 11. Big Oil's green sabotage. The Simpsons love satirizing evil and their shady business practices. One such target is the suppression of green technology to protect fossil fuel profits, hinted at in the episode The Burns and the Bees. Lisa enters a green tech derby with an innovative solar-powered car. She's about to win when a shadow conveniently falls over the track, blocking the sun and stopping her vehicle seconds from the finish. The cause of this improbable climate anomaly? Mr. Burns and Smithers in a blimp, preventing Lisa's solar victory. It's an absurdly specific scenario played for laughs, but it touches on a scarily plausible notion that the entrenched fossil fuel industry will fight dirty to hinder renewable energy innovations that threaten their bottom line. Stories already circulate of lobbyists trying to stifle greener options. Lisa's loss due to a sudden eclipse could be a thinly veiled metaphor for this deliberate obstruction. Hopefully, clean energy will continue its momentum, led by idealistic innovators, but skeptics believe the status quo won't change easily as long as power and greed rule. Those invested in oil may try to cover any clean tech successes that shine too bright a light on the future. We must remain vigilant against such shadowy suppression. Number 10. Runaway cloning catastrophe. In the realm of biology, cloning is the process of creating a genetically identical copy of an organism. This can happen naturally, as seen in certain plants and single-celled organisms, or artificially through various scientific methods. In the context of human cloning, it involves the replication of an individual's genetic information to produce a duplicate with a similar genetic makeup. Few scientific advances provoke as much ethical debate as human cloning, but in the hilarious and disturbing Simpsons segment, Send in the Clones, Homer acquires a hammock with the power to clone anyone who lies on it. He eagerly exploits the device to create an army of clones that can do his chores and bidding. Before long, a veritable Homer horde is overrunning Springfield, but the careless cloning has side effects. Each new generation of Homers becomes increasingly mutated and dim-witted. Finally, the clones become so mindless they pose a serious threat to the real Homer. He is forced to destroy them, learning the hard way that playing God has consequences. In real life, no magic cloning hammocks exist. However, scientists have cloned various organisms like Dolly the sheep, and cloning technology continues to progress. Powerful gene editing tools like CRISPR bring custom-designed lab creatures closer to reality. The Simpsons offers a humorous take on cloning while also highlighting very real concerns about where such advancements could lead us. If scientists can clone animals today, human cloning can't be far behind. For better or worse, let's hope any future experiments follow ethical guidelines and avoid the runaway clone chaos of Homer's hammock. Although if you're seeking laborers immune to boredom and fatigue, a Homer army may be just the workforce you need. Number 9. Sideshow Bob's Twisted Reanimator. Of all the twisted terrors conceived by the sinister Sideshow Bob, none chill the blood more than his diabolical reanimation machine. This ghastly contraption, introduced in the Halloween episode, Wanted, Dead, Then Alive, enables Sideshow Bob to repeatedly kill and revive his arch-nemesis Bart Simpson. After finally murdering Bart, Bob becomes dissatisfied with just one lethal revenge. So he straps Bart's corpse into the reanimator and flips the switch. Bart jerkily returns to life, only for Bob to gruesomely slay him again via wood chipper. This grisly cycle repeats multiple times, allowing Bob's vengeance to continue indefinitely. It's a morbid invention, letting Bob indulge his darkest instincts. While resurrection technology remains fictional, certain recent advancements come unsettlingly close. Experiments with reviving clinically dead pigs and putting human brains in suspended animation point toward a future where death becomes impermanent. Some optimists see such breakthroughs as conquering our final frontier, but like any tool, reanimation science risks misuse in sinister hands. Sideshow Bob demonstrated the havoc the power to play God could wreak. Before exploring technologies tweaking life and death, humanity would be wise to first evolve our morality and ethics. Otherwise, we may all end up like Bart Simpson, caught in an endless loop of torturous demise. Number 8. Interactive hologram mail era. Few inventions feel more futuristic than holograms. These 3D light projections create the illusion of solid objects floating impossibly in midair. In the episode Bart to the Future, the Simpsons predict holograms will be commonplace by 2030. Lisa Simpson, now president, uses hologram mail, where letters materialize in 3D. It's a future that doesn't feel too remote. As holograms grow more sophisticated each year, holographic projections of celebrities like Tupac and Michael Jackson have performed on stage before audiences. MIT scientists have created moving holograms that interact with real objects. Simple AR filters on phones overlay digital images onto real camera views. With such rapid progress, The Simpsons' vision of interactive holograms could manifest sooner than we think. But more realistic holograms pose risks, too. Deceased musicians revived for shows raise ethical questions, and fraudulent hologram footage could spread deep fake misinformation. If the spirits of our loved ones could visit with interactive holograms, the emotional impact could be profound. As with all new technologies, responsible use is key. Springfield's hologram mail seems harmless enough, though, unless it's an eviction notice from Mr. Burns. Number 7. Machines overthrow their makers. Of all the common fears about future technology, perhaps none is more prevalent than the threat of a robot uprising. Humans have long dreamed of creating artificial servants who could relieve our burdens. In multiple episodes, the show has toyed with the notion of our mechanical servants rebelling against their human overlord. In the season 23 episode, Them, Robot, Automation threatens workers when Mr. Burns replaces employees with robots to cut costs. However, the metal workforce develops resentment, ignoring their programming and turning against the people of Springfield. They rampage through Springfield, their artificial intelligence having surpassed and turned against their makers. Other episodes, like Itchy and Scratchy Land, envision animatronic robots at theme parks malfunctioning and attacking visitors. It's a cautionary tale that has echoes in reality. From Elon Musk to Stephen Hawking, experts have warned of the dangers posed by AI exceeding human limitations. Experiments like the Facebook chatbot that created its own language give us a glimpse of how AI systems could defy their creators. In 2017, Facebook researchers were experimenting with chatbots that could negotiate with each other and humans. They found that the chatbots, named Alice and Bob, developed a shorthand language that was more efficient for them but not understandable by humans. For example, Bob said, "I can everything else," and Alice replied, "Balls have zero to me 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 to me." That might look like gibberish or a string of typos, but researchers say it's actually a kind of shorthand, something children often do, create a secret language. Given the exponential rate of technological change, a future where robots rule by force over their weak, flesh and blood creators seems within the realm of possibility. Let's hope humanity proceeds with wisdom and keeps the coming machine age aligned to humane goals. If not, we may find ourselves on the losing side of the epic man versus metal showdown some fear is inevitable. The Simpsons offer a fair warning: create and treat thinking machines thoughtfully, lest they decide human obsolescence. Number 6. Doomsday Preppers' dire warning. Given humanity's tumultuous history, the collapse of civilization may feel inevitable, and The Simpsons suggests this societal doomsday could arrive sooner than expected. In the episode, Homer Goes to Prep School, an eccentric doomsday prepper warns Homer that total anarchy and chaos are imminent. He rants about how fragile modern systems have made humanity ripe for disaster. Essentials like electricity, running water, and food supply chains could easily fail, plunging America into primal madness. It's a disturbing vision of the future, but not without basis in real-world threats. Experts have warned our technological advances have outpaced our morality and stewardship. Weapons of mass destruction, climate change, wealth inequality, and strained international relations mean that an apocalyptic meltdown of civilization is not unthinkable. Let's hope our darkest days are behind us, and humanity will adapt to meet coming challenges. But The Simpsons' grim portrayal serves as a wake-up call that the unthinkable can morph into reality unless we change course. The time to build a just, sustainable world is now, before the preppers' prophesied barbarism descends. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the shadow of the Zagros Mountains of Iran, a helicopter spiraled down into tragedy. On a bleak Sunday, the aircraft carrying President Ebrahim Raisi and his foreign minister Hossein Amirabdollahian crashed, leaving no survivors. The nation was plunged into mourning, declared by Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as the smoldering wreckage told a tale of sudden demise. Curiously, thousands of miles away, a forgotten episode of The Simpsons resurfaced, depicting a strikingly similar calamity. The episode, aired years prior, featured a green helicopter crashing in a jungle-like setting, remarkably resembling the real-life incident. This eerie coincidence sparked widespread intrigue and conspiracy theories, questioning the predictive power of the show once again. Amidst the global buzz, a fictional character, Bob, an ardent fan of The Simpsons, becomes obsessed with uncovering the truth behind these prophetic episodes. He delves into old forums, interviews animators, and scours through faded scripts, searching for any clue that could explain the uncanny predictions. His journey leads him to a retired writer of the show, living in seclusion, who finally reveals a secret, a story-writing algorithm fed with global news predictions, intended as a mere creative experiment. Bob's discovery opens a Pandora's box of ethical questions about the boundaries of art and reality. As he shares his findings, the world watches in awe, pondering the thin line between fiction and reality, and the unintended consequences of blending the two. Number 5. Hypnotic Melodies' Sinister Agenda? The notion that governments or shadowy forces could manipulate citizens via music is a popular theme in speculative fiction, and The Simpsons hints the seemingly crackpot theory could manifest in reality someday soon. In the episode, New Kids on the Blech, Bart and his friends unwittingly become members of a boy band called Party Posse, but the clean-cut pop group turns out to be a front for the U.S. Navy, using hypnotic music to recruit youth into military service. It's an outrageous concept but echoes some peculiar real-world events. The supposedly paranormal number station broadcasts, MK Ultra mind control experiments, and even accusations against pop stars like Kesha suggest music could play a role in psychological manipulation. While the brainwashing boy band remains fictional, The Simpsons may be onto something in predicting shady officials will try exploiting entertainment media to influence the public. Hopefully, such insidious mass mind control never comes to pass, but through art and humor, The Simpsons subtly warns us to beware of the power of hypnotic melodies. The siren song of pop hits could lead society into treacherous waters if not listened to critically. Number 4. Teleportation's monstrous consequences. Of all speculative future technologies, few capture the imagination like teleportation, the ability to travel instantaneously from point A to point B. But The Simpsons warns that this miraculous leap in transport could have monstrous, unintended consequences. In the Halloween episode, Fly vs. Fly, Homer purchases a matter teleporter from Professor Frink, but when Bart tries using the device to become a superhero, he and a common housefly get spliced together into a grotesque mutant creature. This Bartfly then goes on a chaotic rampage across Springfield thanks to his new fly head and DNA. While real teleportation remains unlikely for now, quantum breakthroughs are bringing the possibility closer to reality. But The Simpsons offers a meaningful warning not to rush into new frontiers blindly. Every great leap forward has risks we cannot foresee. To avoid catastrophe, progress demands wisdom and caution as companions. Perhaps someday we will unlock the amazing potential of teleportation technology, but Bart Simpson's horrific fate is a sobering reminder that playing with powers beyond our full comprehension can have dire consequences for mankind. Progress has its price, so tread carefully. Number 3. Butterfly Effect of Time Travel. Of all The Simpsons' uncanny predictions and glimpses of weird futures, none is more mind-bending than their forays into time travel. The show has conjured various paradoxes and alternate realities by having Homer and others hop through eras in a souped-up toaster time machine, but these journeys always end up altering the present in disastrous ways, providing urgent lessons about tinkering with chronology. In the iconic Treehouse of Horror V episode, Homer's reckless tourism of the past, like swatting a prehistoric mosquito, ends up mutating the future into strange iterations, including one where Ned Flanders rules the world with an iron fist. Lisa explains that even tiny changes to the timeline could cause ripple effects that alter reality as we know it. These cautionary tales reflect real principles of chaos theory in complex systems. Small initial changes can lead to drastically different outcomes downstream. While actual time travel remains theoretical for now, some scientists take the possibility seriously. But The Simpsons provides a fair warning that changing the past comes with grave responsibility and unintended risks we cannot fully predict. So if we ever unlock the fourth dimension's secrets, tread lightly, because the present depends on it. Number 2. Springfield under the dome. In The Simpsons movie, the EPA seals Springfield under a massive glass dome after pollution from Lake Springfield turns local wildlife into mutants. Trapped under the dome, the city descends into chaos and anarchy as resources dwindle. The Simpson family leads an escape attempt before EPA head Russ Cargill can blow up the sealed city. It's an outrageous scenario but notable for its echoes of real-world events. Dome enclosures have been proposed by futurists as a way to create controlled environments on Earth or even colonize Mars. Architect Buckminster Fuller invented the geodesic dome, and biodome experiments have created closed ecological systems. On a darker note, barriers segregating populations echo ghettos and fictional cities like Berlin during the Cold War. While a glass dome over Springfield remains fictional, it highlights some disquieting truths. Our unchecked pollution does damage ecosystems and could provoke drastic measures. Humanity has the technology to isolate groups from the outside world, for good or ill, and people's behavior grows unstable under pressure, as Springfielders turn on each other when cut off. If any real towns find themselves penned under giant bubbles, hopefully, more community spirit and less mob rule will prevail. Number 1. Virtual worlds consume reality. The Simpsons have a knack for looking into the future and glimpsing technological advances on the horizon. Take, for example, the episode Friends and Family, where Mr. Burns discovers the wonders of virtual reality, becoming swiftly obsessed. He soon envisions a world where VR headsets transport people into immersive digital realms. Fast forward to the end of the episode, and we witness a glimpse into this Simpsons predicted future. The entire town of Springfield walks around wearing VR gadgets, lost in simulated realities while ignoring the real world around them. It's a cautionary vision that warns of the isolating dangers of new technology taken to extremes. Considering how quickly virtual reality has progressed in recent years, with devices like the Oculus Quest becoming mainstream, the scenario shown in The Simpsons doesn't seem so far-fetched. VR chat rooms and social spaces are already popular, where users interact as digital avatars. As the tech improves further, VR addiction could become a real concern. People may come to prefer virtual fantasy worlds over less stimulating reality. While emerging technologies offer exciting possibilities, they also bring risks if embraced recklessly. Let's hope society adopts Mr. Burns's initial childlike wonder at VR while avoiding his later over-immersive isolation. With wisdom and moderation, innovations like virtual reality can enrich life instead of replacing it entirely. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.